Hello, and welcome to my presentation on Subject-Verb Agreement. Let's get started. Here's the first of several guidelines on Subject-Verb Agreement. The key is this: the subject and the verb must agree in number. Singular subjects take singular verbs. Plural subjects take plural verbs. Here's an example. A price list hangs on the front counter. List is the subject, hangs is the verb. Since there is only one price list, it is singular. So the verb must also be singular, hangs. If the verb has an S on it, then that means it is singular. So you have proper subject-verb agreement in this sentence. Their dogs bark constantly. Dogs is the subject, which is plural. Bark is the verb, which is also plural. There is more than one dog, so there's an S on dogs, right? The subject. There is no S on bark because it is plural, and it refers to a plural subject. Okay, let's move on. The subject and verb must agree in number even when separated by phrases and clauses. So even when extra words separate the subject from the verb, they still must agree in number. For example, money, as well as staff and equipment, is needed for the project. So the prepositional phrase, as well as staff and equipment, is what is separating the subject, money, from the verb, is needed. So money is singular, meaning the verb phrase or the verb should be singular. Is needed is singular. Okay, don't get confused on that. Got it? You might want to pause the video here and take a look at it. Let it marinate. Okay. Compound subjects joined by the conjunction and require plural verbs. For example, peanut butter and jelly mix well together. Peanut butter and jelly. Well, they are connected by the conjunction and. This is a plural subject because you have more than one item comprising the subject, right? So the subject is peanut butter and jelly. Mix is the verb. So because peanut butter and jelly is plural, your verb mix must also be plural. It does not have an ES on it. Otherwise, that would make it singular. In this sentence, you have proper subject-verb agreement. Buses and trains travel on land. Same thing. Plural subject, compound subject, plural verb. A compound subject joined by or nor takes a singular verb. Example, the chairman or the president is willing to discuss the financial goals for the year. So you have a compound subject, right? The chairman or the president. So the verb has to be singular because it needs to match that compound subject, which is joined by or. So you get the chairman or the president is willing. That is proper subject-verb agreement. The instructor nor the dean knows how to address the student. Same thing. Compound subject joined by nor, the instructor nor the dean, will take a singular verb, knows, with an S on the end. In either or and neither nor constructions, the verb agrees with the nearest subject. We'll explain that with this example. Either the employer or the employees arrange monthly lunch outings. So you have the either or construction right there, either the employer or the employees. Look at employees. Since the word employees is closest to the verb arrange, then employees determines whether or not you use a singular or a plural verb. Because employees is plural, then the verb arrange must also be plural. Arrange does not have an S on it, therefore it is plural and matches with the word employees. Neither the buyers nor the sales manager favors the price increase. Okay. You have a neither nor construction here. Neither the buyers nor the sales manager. Now, because sales manager is closer to the verb favors, then manager will determine whether or not the verb is singular or plural. Because there is just one manager is singular, the verb favors must also be singular, which is the case here. We know that because there is an S at the end of favors. All right. Use a singular verb after these subjects. So whenever you see these words being used as the subject of a sentence, the verb will always be singular. Take a look. Each one, every, everyone, everybody, either, neither, nobody, no one, anyone, anybody, another, one, somebody, someone, much. If you have a sentence, for example, that says, each one of the books is on the library counter. Each agrees with is. Each is singular. Is also singular. So again, when you see these words, singular verb, singular subject. Use a plural verb after these subjects. Both, few, many, others, several. For example, both supervise the group. Both is plural, so the verb supervise is also plural. We know that because there is no S on the end of supervise. Okay, good. Many were invited, but few were able to attend. Many is plural, right? Were invited is plural. Were able is also plural. So you have good subject-verb agreement here. Let's talk about collective nouns. If the group is acting as a unit, use a singular verb. Let's look at that. The board of directors meets on Wednesday. Board of directors is a collective noun. There are individual members on the board, but collectively or all together, they are referred to as the board of directors. So, the board of directors here is acting as a unit, meaning singular. Board of directors is treated as a singular unit or one unit, which takes a singular verb, meets, because meets has an S on the end, which makes it singular. The staff supports the move. Same thing. There are individual people who make up the staff collectively, but they are all being referred to as a single unit, as staff. Staff is singular or one unit, and it needs a singular verb, supports. On the other hand, if the members of the group are acting separately, use a plural verb. For example, the council are divided about the school bond issue. I know it doesn't sound right. It sounds a little bit awkward, but the council is acting as several members. So you need a plural verb, are divided. The majority are unwilling to contribute to the office party. Again, if you mean that members of the unit are acting individually or acting separately, then you need a plural verb. In this case, it is are unwilling. Okay, in summary, the subject and the verb must agree in number. Very important there. Speaking of collective nouns, if the group is acting as a unit, use a singular verb. If the members of the group are acting separately, then use a plural verb. Okay, hopefully you have enjoyed this presentation on subject-verb agreement. Thank you very much and happy writing.